Welcome to HFY Beyond Terra, where humanity doesn't just survive, it becomes the galaxy's biggest surprise. Subscribe, and let's go beyond Terra.
The contract was simple, too simple. Eliminate one human female, no witnesses, no collateral, payment triple standard rates delivered in void credits and asylum codes. The kind of job that made lesser assassins sweat and made legends like me bored. Humans were Deathworlders, yes, but they were fragile in the ways that mattered. No claws, no venom, no psionic shielding. They survived because they were many, not because they were exceptional, or so I believed. Her file said her name was Rhea Calder. Age, 26 standard years. Occupation, cargo technician on the fringe station Graville Point 9. Threat level, negligible. The Empire disagreed with itself. Someone had paid far too much money to erase someone far too ordinary. That should have been my first warning. One arrival at Graville Point 9 was a rusted wheel of a station, bolted together from salvaged hulls and stubborn optimism. It smelled like ozone, old coolant, and desperation, the kind of place where no one asked questions if you paid your docking fees in advance. Perfect. I wore my civilian skin, tall, gray-eyed, shoulders hunched just enough to look tired instead of dangerous. My species, Karun, were known for blending in. We were born assassins, bred by necessity, perfected by war. I found her in a bar. Of course I did. She sat alone at a corner table, boots propped up on the opposite chair, a glass of amber liquid in her hand. Her dark hair was pulled back in a messy knot, and there was a healing cut across her knuckles. A worker's injury. Not a soldier, not a criminal. I scanned for weapons. She had none visible. That should have been my second warning. To the kill that did happen, I chose poison. Quick, clean, undetectable. I sat at the bar, ordered a local spirit, and waited for her to glance my way. She did once, then frowned as if sensing something off. Interesting. When she stood to order another drink, I brushed past her and tipped the poison capsule into her glass. The compound was designed for humans, optimized metabolism failure in under 30 seconds. She returned to her table, lifted the glass, drank. I counted silently. 5 seconds, 10, 20. She coughed once, then laughed. Damn, she muttered. That's stronger than usual. My internal processors stuttered. 30 seconds passed. 1 minute. She was still alive, not just alive, fine. She caught my stare and raised her glass toward me. You look like you've seen a ghost, she said. That was my third warning. 3, a very human problem. I aborted the mission, not because I was afraid, but because something had gone catastrophically wrong. I followed her instead. She left the bar an hour later, walking steadily, humming to herself. No neurological distress, no respiratory failure. The poison should have shut down her organs. Unless humans were even worse than the reports claimed. She stopped abruptly in a maintenance corridor. You can come out now, she said. I froze. You've been tailing me since the bar, she continued. Either you're terrible at it or you want something. I stepped into the light. Her eyes widened, but not in fear, in curiosity. Oh, she said, you're not from around here. I mean you no harm, I lied automatically. She snorted. Buddy, everyone means harm. Question is whether you're honest about it. She studied me for a long moment, then she grinned. Walk with me, she said. If you're gonna kill me, at least tell me why first. No one had ever said that to me before. I walked. For the truth, over drinks she took me to another bar, smaller, quieter, filled with long-haul pilots and mercs who knew better than to start trouble. She ordered 2 drinks. On me, she said. You look like you need one. I watched carefully as she poured the drinks herself and slid one toward me. You poisoned me earlier, she said casually. My hand stopped mid-reach. Relax, she added. Didn't work, happens sometimes. Happens, I echoed. She shrugged. Human liver's a nightmare. You aliens design toxins for textbooks, not reality. I stared at her. You should be dead, I said. She clinked her glass against mine. Yet here I am. For the first time in my long career, I told the truth. I was hired to kill you. She blinked, then burst out laughing. Wow, she said, that explains the price spike on my life insurance. You are not afraid? She took a sip. Nah, if the Empire wanted me dead, they'd send an army, not one guy with sad eyes and fancy poison. Sad eyes, no one had ever called them that. 5. Why the Empire wanted her gone. Rhea leaned back and stretched. I used to work in salvage, she said. Pulled wreckage out of forbidden zones, found things I wasn't supposed to. My instincts sharpened. What things? She tapped her temple. Records, logs, proof. Of what? That the Empire lied about first contact, she said. About who fired first, about who wiped out who. My blood ran cold. She smiled without humor. They erased entire species and blamed natural extinction. I copied the data before they burned the site. You are one human, I said, against an empire. She raised her glass. Yeah, but I'm loud. I understood then. The contract wasn't about danger. It was about truth. 6. The assassin who chose not to kill, I should have killed her then. Silently, efficiently, no witnesses. Instead, I drank. The alcohol burned, stronger than expected. Human tolerance was obscene. You're not going to try again? She asked. No, I said. She studied me carefully. Why? Because I had seen empires fall, because I had seen lies rot civilizations from the inside. Because this human, this fragile, impossible creature, had survived poison meant to stop her heart and still trusted me enough to share a drink. I choose my own targets, I said at last. She smiled. Good, then choose better employers. 7. Becoming drinking buddies, we drank until the station lights dimmed. She told me about Earth, about storms that could flatten cities, predators that hunted for sport, and gravity that crushed the weak. A world that tried to kill its children daily. And you still smile, I said. She shrugged. If you don't, the planet wins. I told her about my people, about silent wars and contracts written in blood, about learning to kill before learning to speak. Sounds lonely, she said softly. It was. She raised her glass. To bad employers, she said. I clinked mine against hers. To humans, I replied. 8. The aftermath, I erased the contract, sent back a falsified confirmation, target eliminated. The Empire believed me. They always did. Rhea leaked the data weeks later, across pirate nets. Civilian channels, neutral worlds. The fallout was catastrophic. Uprisings, sanctions, revolutions. The Empire never suspected Gravel.9. They never suspected the cargo technician. As for me, I stayed. Sometimes I guard her. Sometimes I help move data. Sometimes we just drink and argue about whose species is more stubborn. She's wrong, of course. It's humans. I once tried to kill a Deathworld girl. Instead, I found a friend. The Empire lost its deadliest assassin that day, and gained something far more dangerous. A human who refuses to die, and an alien who finally chose who he wanted to be.